All right. I'm going to start a season here and talk about a review of Madden 25 and rebuild the Arizona Cardinals and just gab. I'm just going to chat about this. I want to talk about some football and, of course, point you all to Jesus Christ because we're enjoying this now. But right around the corner, it doesn't look like we're going to be able to sit here and enjoy leisure time like this and play games like this. So you want to make sure you're right with God. You really do. I mean, He offers us a way out through Jesus Christ where you don't have to worry about what happens in this life and you can count on Him, or you can ignore Him and deal with what you got to deal with. And I just have fun with that. But anyway, uh, Madden 25 feels so much different from Madden 24. So give a brief review on this. It feels different, so I can't quite judge it very well. I'm still playing with it, but it feels nice. It's kind of tough when you're using different players and they feel different, but when you're like on defense, for example, and you're using a linebacker and then you use a safety or you use a defensive lineman, you feel the difference. Not just from Madden 24, but you feel the difference between the people's position. Like you got a 300-pound lineman, and you're trying to stuff the run or get to the passer, and then you switch to a 250-pound linebacker. He feels a little bit looser, but not as quite as loose as using a 200-pound safety or something like that. Where uh, with the linebacker, you can still jump and try to make some plays, but not as easy as if you use a safety. But at the same time, you can feel the difference when you're using that linebacker and safety when you're trying to tackle a big running back, like Henry on the Ravens now. You try tackling him with your 200-pound safety, you notice that he's at least going to plow through you for another couple of yards, if not more, even if you make the tackle. But when you got that 250-pound linebacker, you notice you got a better chance, and you're able to hold your ground better, so that the feel is pretty nice. Like I've been using some, as I'll show you with how I've rebuilt this team so far, uh, using some running backs that are just big and feeling how, yeah, you can't make a shifty move. You're not going to hit like a home run. Well, you could, but the blocking has to be just right. But you just run over people, and even if you don't break the tackle, you just plow through these people. Unless they got big guys, you force them to have big guys out there. But then if they got big guys, using the run and shoot, what I'm going to be doing this season makes it tough because I'm going to be putting four receivers out consistently, pretty much every play, even in goal line situations and what have you. I'm just trying to mix it up. Now and then, might change it up on a situation like that. But for the most part, going to be trying to use this run and shoot. Not sure if I'm going to use the run and shoot playbook or use the run and shoot that I edited a little bit. Not sure yet. I just wish you could put your own audibles in the run and shoot playbook instead of having to do it every game. That's like the one thing that's stopping me from doing that. But anyway, back to reviewing the game there. The passing, I like the passing. I'm not going to say it's perfect, but I like when there's somebody right in your face when you're throwing, you notice that the ball is off, but you still might be able to make the completion. But then there's times you're getting hit and you throw it, and the way that the ball comes out looks more realistic. There are times, sometimes it just flies into the ground or flies off to a different direction, or it ends up popping up where a defender can go get it. It feels pretty real. And you can throw over people better than the other mans. I'm not going to say you can consistently do it. I mean, it may take a little bit of work and practice and maybe a good quarterback. Maybe that has something to do with it. And maybe when they actually move in the college revamp passing, it might be better when they actually bring that into Madden, like they say they're gonna. I can't wait for them to do that. I want to try that. But even without that, it seems like you can throw over people's heads and make some plays like that. So it feels pretty good. Uh, the tackling, it's cool. There's different animations for breaking the tackles and making the tackles, so it looks a lot better, feels a lot better. The tackling in general seems pretty crappy though, where they just break tackles very easily, right? Like even when you're doing it, you can break tackles very easily compared to like last Madden, and it's harder to make the tackles. So you got to figure a way around that kind of that chess game. You're going to use swarm techniques with smaller guys. You're going to use bigger guys that can make the tackle. You're going to try to mix it up. You're going to have some hybrids. Like, what are you going to do to counter that? I noticed playing defense is a bit tougher. That's one criticism I got of this is it's like you can't really play defense. You really got to trick your opponent and hope he makes a mistake, or just hope you got some really good guys on the defensive line that put some pressure to force your opponent into a mistake because it don't seem like you can play like a shut down dominating defense. You might be able to play like a bend don't break, maybe get some nice blitz packages, but it seems pretty tough, especially with the new blocking mechanics where you can block it a lot better, like half slide and all that. It really helps out where you can pick up the blitzes and roll out and what have you. So it's pretty cool. So far I like what they've done, but I'm not gonna put a stamp on it like good or bad yet because I want to play it a bit more. Like it still feels different, but I'm trying to see if that's a good thing or a bad thing. There is a lot of good things, but then I gotta think about it. Like right now, it's football season starting off. Excited to play the game, so I'm gonna let that adrenaline and the hype go down, and then I'm gonna look at it again and hear people out on their complaints because I have run into some strange bugs. I've seen the computer a couple times no huddle and then sit there and let the clock run down and get a delay game penalty, which was weird. But not a big deal. Only happened a couple of times, and since it benefited me, I'm not going to complain. But yeah, the second part of this, I wanted to talk about rebuilding the Cardinals. I figured, you know what? I'm going to do run and shoot. Let's pick warm weather. Let's pick a dome team. Not that you can't play out in an open stadium and do the run and shoot. I mean, the Bills did it and went to 4 straight Super Bowls. So yeah, you can do it in an open stadium in a cold area like Buffalo. But I was like, let's make it easier. And Arizona, there's two things that made me want to take them. They have a dome, but they also have a grass. So I don't think that plays a big part in Madden, but I was like, yeah, let's pick a team that not only has a dome, but they use grass. And I think Arizona is the only team that does both. They use real grass that they take care of, plus a dome. And I think the real grass helps the players. The players prefer grass because getting tackled on it feels better than getting tackled out on the turf. So I was like, yeah, okay, we get the best of both worlds there. And I think they're the worst team rating in Madden. So I was like, yeah, let's take this team over. Let's rebuild. Generally, I'm a Philadelphia fan because Philadelphia, the Church of Brotherly Love. That's why I decided to root for them, even though generally I'm just a football fan. But yeah, the defensive coordinator for the Eagles actually is the head coach of the Cardinals now, so that made that a little bit easier there. But I want to show you what I've done with this team. Just doing the trades without any bonuses to the coaching and this team has changed quite a bit. I traded Murray. It was like a $55 million cap penalty, but I was like, hey, the Cardinals got some money. I want to make changes. Let's do this because I actually want to develop this guy, Joe Milton III, rookie from Tennessee, 6'5", 235, got a little bit of speed, and he has a 97 throw power. And I was like, yeah, let's take this guy. He's like a Drew Bledsoe-esque, but can move. Or you can even say Dan Marino-esque. And I mean this in the body type, not necessarily in play style and ability, but has a cannon, can move a bit. And one of the other things I like to look for when I'm going to do uh, something like the run and shoot, where I'm passing a lot, is throw under pressure. I mean, it's pretty decent starting out with a 73 as a rookie. I'm going to try to start him and just see how this goes because I don't need his awareness if I'm going to be using him. The accuracy might play an issue, but if need be, I can still use Ritter here. At running back, you see that I have a fullback here. I just have him here because you need somebody in the spot. So I moved this guy here because I was going to try him out at running back. The only downside is his carry. And his speed, not that very fast, but I was like, you know what? 255 pounds, 84 strength, and 88 acceleration. I could just do some spreading out and running up the middle, and I wanted to try running people over with this guy. But ultimately, these are my running backs. You got James Conner, already on the team. Pretty big guy himself. Benson, a rookie. I traded for Estime here, just like my quarterback. Want to develop him. So I got two rookies that I eventually will just be a tag team here. Both pretty high strength. Developed them as some power backs here, even though this guy got some pretty good speed on him, Benson here. I prefer running backs who are 230 and over with 80 strength plus, but he's a little bit lighter, a little bit weaker, pretty good, especially with a 95 carry, as you can see over there. So I was like, yeah, I'll use it. This guy, you're like, he's the tight end rookie there. Yeah, I wanted to take a look at him at running back. He has a 75 carry, a little down, but I was like, hey, he's just like the fullback, but a little bit faster, even a little bit better on the agility, even though he's 273 pounds. I was like, you know what? I might try him out here because at fullback, I can still shift him to tight end. And then I can also put him at running back. So I want to put him here just to mess around with him as well. Especially since Connor is just about 30, we'll give him rest, even though he'll be the feature back. At receiver, I was able to make some pretty good trades. Harrison, as you know, they traded for him. They drafted him. My bad. They drafted him. I like Ohio State, so that's pretty cool having this guy here. His dad was a really good receiver for the Colts. Yeah, hopefully, it turns out well for me. Just messing around, I was able to trade for this guy. Pretty fast, pretty agile, fits what I want to do. He's a little bit taller, but that's fine because he's still very agile, good change of direction, and is fast. He should be perfect for this scheme, whether I want to put him inside or outside. So I think the only issue is that his catching is below an 80, and so is his catching in traffic. And for the run and shoot, need that to be a bit better there. But I was able to end up trading for him and end up getting Dell and Mitchie in a trade with the Texans. And they're both pretty good prototypical run and shoot slot receivers. So they might be my slot guys, and Harrison Williams will be my outside guys. But of course, I can switch that up because both of these guys, even though they're fairly tall for run and shoot receivers, they're pretty agile and can get open and make some plays after the catch there. Tight end, I just have people here at the moment to hold the position because I think you need one or two people in this position, which is weird because you only need one running back, but for some reason you need two tight ends. But I'm keeping Elijah Higgins here because if you look at this, he's a pretty big guy, and he has an 89 speed, 90 excel, pretty good catching. His carry, I'm not sure, but he has a pretty decent uh, pass blocking, which you want for a running back. But a 71 carry, I thought was pretty good. 77 break tackle, and I signed JJ Whiteside here because I figured with these two guys, they're pretty fast. They got pretty good carry, pretty good blocking, and they can catch. They might make pretty good running backs. This guy only has a 64 strength, but I was like, well, this guy's not where I want, but 74. He was a first round draft pick, I think, by the Eagles, and now he's listed as a tight end. I was like, you know what? I might take him and switch him to running back, see how he does there. But um, I'm not going to be able to fit everybody on the roster, so probably going to be a casualty there unless you can be on the practice squad. This guy's a rookie that I traded for from the Bills. He's an offensive lineman that this is who's going to be my tight end if I have a tight end in. And I can put him at fullback if I ever have a fullback. This is very much not going to happen. It's just an extra offensive lineman. So if I can only need one tight end, I might just get rid of these two guys. And this guy, even though he's a 59 overall, is going to be my tight end. He's a 59 because he doesn't got good catching and route running, but he's not for that. He's going to be for blocking. And he's pretty fast for a 300-pound lineman at 79 speed and 82 acceleration. So who knows? Maybe he could sneak out and I could throw a ball up to him and he would make some crazy catch. But ultimately, he'd be brought in to be a sixth offensive lineman to help out. And offensive line kept Paris Johnson, moved, I think he was a right guard, over to left tackle to be his backup. Left guard, I'm going to have Isaiah Adams, this rookie, starting. I compared the two, and the only thing really better Brown has is some awareness and a little bit of strength. He does have a little bit more speed, but he has more upside being a rookie and better like pass blocking, run back blocking stats. I moved Will Hernandez to center. I thought he'd play well there, and moved Beecham there to be his backup. So it's pretty good depth there. Williams, I moved to right guard. He's probably going to be the starter, and Froholt will be the backup. But we'll just see how that plays out. They're both pretty good. We'll just see. But either way, got some depth there. And then I was able to trade for DeJuan Jones. I can't remember what team he's on. But big guy, 6'8", 375. Pretty good stats for 1 year, 23 years old, 76 overall. I think he'd be a pretty good right tackle. He's not very fast, can't move too well, but hopefully he just is a stone wall. Then we can develop him. Got Robinson here, their rookie. He's going to be at the left end. I'm going to do a 3-4 base defense, and in nickel it's going to be like a 3-3-5 odd or a 3-3-5 stack. And if I go to a dime, it's going to be something like a 1-4 or a 2-3 kind of thing, where you still have just three guys on a line. So I can keep the same kind of scheme, the same kind of system, because I'm going to have the nose tackle be a two-gapper. So I can still use the same scheme on the line. If I'm coming out in a 3-4 odd, if I come out in the nickel package or a dime package, I'm still going to have the same bear-like front instead of having a over or under kind of front. Uh, Jones is going to be the starting right end. Tonga here is going to be my nose. Linebackers, I'm actually like the linebackers we got here because I want them to be a mixture of pass rushers and uh, covered guys, so I can drop them or rush them. And Zaven Collins is like perfect. Good tackle, good block shedding, got good power move, and 62 man coverage, 71 zone coverage for a guy who's 260 pounds. This guy, not so good, but he's developed. This guy's going to be the starter, and that's really good. Linebackers, I was able to trade to get Jelani here and Logan Wilson. White and Wilson, pretty good for backups here. This guy's making a lot of money though, but good depth. They all got pretty good speed. These guys I like because they get pretty good size. That's what I like with my middle linebackers having it being at least like 240 and 85 plus speed. These guys have that. Great tackling at being over a 90 with pretty good hit power. And at least over a 70 block shedding. These guys have that. I would like to have like 65 plus in either power move or finesse move, kind of like this guy here, Wilson, to do some blitzing with them and they can be a little bit more successful. But where they do really shine is especially Jelani here with the man zone coverage for big guys. That's pretty good. And then the right side, more pass rushing guys. Would like them to be a little bit bigger, but beggars can't be choosers. This is what I got on my team. This guy's pretty good overall. Their pass coverage, lacking. But we got to use what we got. Same thing here. I was able to get a Turner in a trade. I think I can develop him really fast. Good agility and acceleration. Good size for a cornerback. He'll probably end up being a starter. Jackson, I got some more experience. I want to get some man-to-man guys. This guy's a rookie who I think can develop. Got speed and acceleration. Doesn't have that agility and change of direction. But some of these other guys I got here do. So the corner's gonna have to develop. Like I said, prefer man-to-man. And these guys, I got a nice mix. Gonna take some work. Playing defense is probably not going to be fun. I might just play just the offense for the first season here, especially if I play on all Madden. Not sure if I'm going to do that or all pro. And then here, was able to trade, got Jordan Battle. I think he was from the Bengals as well with that corner I got. Move this corner over to safety. I figure I'm going to develop him over here because he's not very agile. So I was like, you know what, I'm going to put him to safety. He gets pretty good speed. And then I moved these guys who were free safeties. I moved these guys to be strong safeties because they're a little bit shorter. And I prefer them to have better tackle and hit power and better man coverage because I would like to use him in the slot. But this guy's pretty good. 82 tackle, 70 power. Really good because he's going to be a nickel. He's going to be playing nickel a good chunk of the time. So that's very good to have. And of course, their kicker and punter, I didn't mess with Prater and Galinkin. This is where it really shined. I was able to get 2 first-round picks, 3 second-round picks, 3 thirds, a 4th, and a 6th. Next year, I don't have a first, but I got 2 seconds, a third, 2 fourths, 2 fifths, 3 sevenths, and still got a first and second in 2027. And the thing is now I can rebuild using all these draft picks, but I'm not sure if I'm going to actually draft, if I'm going to import a draft class somebody made for this upcoming year, or if I'm just going to let the draft be the draft that the computer generates, and then just draft these players, or use these draft picks to trade for draft picks next year and the following year, because I traded a lot of them away, and try to get players with them. Kind of hoping Jacksonville and New Orleans have bad seasons, so these picks will be top 10, and then I can either get a top 10 talent in the draft, or trade them away, get more draft picks, or trade away, get a player, or player and draft picks, right? So I'm not sure how it will play out, but let me just show you where my money is at to start this season, to wrap this up here. So even with trading some guys with some big cap penalties, for some reason the cap penalty is only 36.6 million, and I have 82.9 million in cap space. So I'm in a pretty good position, but I think I'm still going to have a pretty big cap penalty next year. And yeah, so even though it looks good this year, there was, like I said, 55 million just from trading Kyle Murray. And if there's only 36 million here on the cap penalty for this year, if that's all from him, then there still should be another 20 million cap penalty next year. So I could have a little bit more money, but we'll see. Might be able to get some good free agents, but this is a rebuild, and so far this is it. That's my team. I'm gonna run the run and shoot. My defense, a 3-4 base, and I'm gonna try to do like a Vic Fangio, using a cover 6, cover 9 mix, and then sprinkle in some cover 4s now and then, a cover 3, usually a cover 3 match, and some man coverage like a cover 1. And maybe cover 2, but I would play cover 2 pounder, where you put the safeties into quarter zones, so they have like the zones from a cover 4. You put them in that position. But yeah, that's that. So stay tuned if you want to watch me go through the season. I might videotape my season here, and a lot of it's for critiquing, because I'm just starting to run the run and shoot, and I know there's a lot of people who are real gung-ho about it. So if they end up running across this video and they check out my games, they can critique and say, you're reading it wrong, you threw to the wrong guy, your pass protection sucks, you should just stop playing Madden because there is no help for you. And that will be that. And the same thing for defense. You're doing it wrong, right? I don't mind some criticism, as long as I don't go too far, right? But yeah, that is that. So with that all being said, don't forget to prepare for eternity and come to the cross now while you still can, because you never know when your time's up, buddy. And you want to make sure you're saved, you're secure. So get judged now at the cross and accept God's condemnation of you, so that you can be born again, made anew from the inside out through Jesus Christ. And then you don't got to worry about Judgment Day. So thanks for watching, and take care.